Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome back to another episode of the Boss Ravioli Queens with your two favorite caregivers, Nicole Ravioli.
Also to Amy.
Hi. We're recording in my car because it's hot out, and my AC is in my room, and hers is in her room. So we're sitting in the AC in my car because it's hot.
Because being in the car feels better than being in our houses right now.
It sure the heck do.
Because it's real bad.
It's real bad. And as much as I would have loved for y'all to see my room, we're not doing that. Just gonna continue to look like a bag of biscuits.
Bag of biscuits.
So anyways, enough rambling, I guess. Today is part I lost count in the Trump trials series. We're going to cover some Adriana Smith things, updates on that, and the new dystopian world that we're continuing to live in that is becoming more dystopian by the day. Rock on, I guess.
I guess...
Shameless plug?
Yeah.
Dink. Fuck. Fudge. Anyways, go ahead. Do your thing. Julie! Do the thing!
Alright, shameless plug. Well, hi, hello, if you're new here. Welcome. We're the Boss Ravioli Queens. We are two caregivers that have been doing this a really long time. And we talk about healthcare, caregiving, trending topics, how they relate to healthcare in our little corner of the world. Yeah, I don't know. How long have we been doing this now?
2 years.
2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so,
it was 2 years in May, I think, or March or May.
I think it was March. Yeah, March.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've put out a ton of different episodes on all kinds of different things relating to, caregiving and healthcare, and, yeah, so if you want to go take a listen, you can watch all of our old YouTube episodes, and then also you can stay up to date, and you can watch all of the new ones that we continue to release. You can also go back and you can listen to our audio-only episodes.
He's so little. Sorry. There's a cute kid.
I thought you were talking about the shirtless guy.
No. Well, I mean, he could be little.
So... we're at a public park, and yeah, there's a lot going on, and also, I know that we're getting distracted already, but I just have to say, it is crazy, because this is, like, pretty much empty right now, except for the few people that are here. This park is, like, always busy.
Booming. Constantly,
so it is, like, really trippy to see, like, hardly anybody here, but it's because it's, like, 100 degrees outside right now, so, yeah, it's terrible. Anyway.
Yeah. It's not fun outside today.
So, as I was saying, you can also go back and you can listen to all of our audio-only episodes on wherever you listen to podcasts, except for Apple. We are currently not releasing any audio-only versions, and quite honestly, I don't know if we're going to again. I mean, maybe.
It could be a thing. It could also not be a thing. We'll see.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you can stay up to date with us and come along on this journey.
Come on in. The water's fine.
Not today, but usually.
Yeah, the water's hot today.
Anyway, shameless plug.
Think. I'm sad because it's not as satisfying when you can't hear it.
I know.
Ow.
So, as Miss Ravioli was saying, this is another episode of the Trump Trials. So again, if you're new here, we decided to start this mini-series called the Trump Trials, where each month, on the last week of the month, we release an episode just kind of like giving you, I don't know, I guess our commentary on all of the things that keep happening, because Trump, he gives us endless content.
He's messing everything up! Everything!
Endless content. Every month.
I digress. So anyways, I guess We can start with Adriana Smith. For those of you who haven't heard, which if you haven't heard, you're probably living under a rock, but they pulled the plug finally because her body had been decomposing for months, and they had to do an emergency C-section and take the baby out of her. Last I heard, they named him Chance. He was 1 pound and was also in the NICU. But the doctors are hopeful, optimistic even.
Yep. So, I'm assuming that everybody knows who Adriana Smith is. If you listen to us, we did an episode on her earlier. But yeah, baby Chance, 1 pound, 13 ounces. He was born with hydrocephaly, which means water on the brain.
Mm-hmm.
They pulled the plug June 17th. And I'm not sure how much longer she lasted after they pulled the plug, but I'm assuming she passed away on June 17th. I feel like we would have heard if she had lasted longer than that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I doubt she could have, considering her body was decomposing.
Correct. Because again, critical difference between being brain dead and comatose. When you're in a coma, there's a chance that you could wake up. Your body is still alive. It's just that it needs machines to function. And when you're brain dead, you're literally not alive. You are completely dead, and machines are keeping your body alive.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that hopefully this whole little quote-unquote experiment that they tried to do has proven that a dead person cannot in fact carry a baby to term.
Correct. And I don't think we had mentioned this before when we talked about it, but this was the I guess, well, as you called it, most experimental case of this, because it's happened before where somebody was brain dead and kept alive to incubate a fetus. But this was the case where this is like the first case of its kind where she was like, she wasn't very far along. So before this, because she was at 9 weeks and she didn't even know she was pregnant when she died.
Correct.
And before that, they had only ever done it to women who had been 16 weeks along,
mm-hmm.
Or further. So this was like a totally different ballpark. And so she had passed away in February, and then obviously, so she June, so 4 months. So she was the one that they had kept alive the longest.
Yeah.
Alive.
Also, sorry, just one point. For those of you that said that we weren't ever going to get to the point of living in The Handmaid's Tale, guess what? Already are. That's actually like a literal thing.
It's an episode.
Yeah, it's more than one episode. It's 2, I think. 2 or 3.
Yeah. And, again, this poor woman already had a child. I think he was only 5 or 6.
5.
And he visited her in the hospital every day. He was really confused as to why mom was there but not awake.
He thought she was going to wake up.
Yep, he thought she was sleeping. And I mean, it's confusing enough for a kid. Imagine explaining to your child that, hey, mommy's dead, but she's not, and you can go see her. She's alive, but she's not. And then now he has to go through the trauma of burying her and attending her funeral.
Well, not even just that, but like the family has to grieve and mourn all over again to finally get their closure.
Right. Exactly.
Because they've been grieving her since she was put on life support.
Right. When they could have started this process way back in February when she had actually died.
Yeah.
And I mean, at that point, if, you know, say she passed away or whatever, the doctors let her actually die, then they could have told the family, like, oh, and by the way, she was pregnant. You know, it would have been sad, but it would have been like more of an idea than anything.
It would have been less torturous.
Right. It would
like
have
it would have been more humane, you know?
Right, exactly. It would
dignifying.
have been more of just like, okay, well, here's a scenario where it was a possibility, but obviously she died, so it wasn't meant to be. But then it became a whole thing of like, oh yeah, so we're going to keep her alive. Which is just, that's crazy.
Alive.
Now, yeah, like it's one thing if you are just in like a vegetative state, because there is a chance that you could wake up. It's rare, but it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
But being literally brain dead, like you are literally dead.
Mm-hmm.
If they had pulled the plug, she would have not made it.
Yeah. So, I did read that they were using a lot of experimental drugs on her to slow down the body decomposition and all of that jazz. Sorry, this is like really not a comfy thing to talk about because I'm mad and I'm sad, but I'm more mad than anything. So I'm trying really hard to choose my words carefully because I don't want to take anything and say it the wrong way or say it so people can come at me in any sort of way, because I'm not happy about this by any means.
Well, it's totally new territory. Like, that's the thing, is that it's so... It's like the Twilight Zone. Because, like, it goes outside of the pro-life argument, because this was a literal dead person that created a baby, I guess you could say. But it's like, at what cost?
A lot.
Somebody's gonna have to take, you know, the...
So if baby Chance does make it, chances are he's going to have some sort of defect because of the hydrocephaly.
Mm-hmm.
So, number one, you have to think about the quality of life. And no, I'm not saying that being special needs is a bad thing, but coming into the world without a mom being able to take care of that baby, who most likely will have some deficits, some form of disability or deficit, that's going to be rough. Because again, his mom is dead. So he's not going to get like that nurturing mother.
Right.
And of course, you know, he's going to have the grandparents, because her parents sound like they're going to be very active in his life if he does make it. And he does still have his dad.
Right. And I mean, but you know, if you think about, like, if things were different, you know, what if this was a person who had no family? Like, luckily, she, you know, has a very active, involved family.
Yeah.
What if it was a situation where, you know, they got called in for a Jane Doe or something.
Right.
And, you know, it's like, what then? Who gives them the right to make that decision?
And let's not forget that she was also a nurse.
Well, and not only that, but so the day before she had died, so she had passed away from aneurysm.
Brain aneurysm, I believe.
Yep, it was a brain aneurysm. And the thing is that she had actually gone into the hospital the day before she died, And they didn't do any imaging. They didn't do any labs. They did nothing.
Typical, because she's a woman.
And she was a nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she went in, and they could have caught it because they would have seen, had they done imaging, she had 4 separate blood clots in her brain.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how many of them burst. I don't know if it was just one or if it was all of them or whatever. But then the next day, she passed away, and then they found out that she died from an aneurysm after the fact. So, I read that they literally gave her Tylenol for her headache and sent her home.
I guarantee you they told her to drink more water and lose weight.
Mm-hmm. Probably. Yeah.
So again, completely avoidable.
And yeah, it begs the question, how far is the pro-life argument willing to go? Because it's like, how can you reasonably support...
Oh, dude, they're on a whole other level of Delulu. I've debated people that are pro-life.
Well, I know, but how can you reasonably support someone who is literally dead, the one thing that they're lacking, pro-life.
They have a justification for everything, and the justification is, but there's a baby.
Okay, but what about her life?
Doesn't matter. Baby matters, mom doesn't.
She's literally decomposing while this baby is forming, and then who's going to take care of it afterwards? If she didn't have family, this baby would have gone into a system.
This again proves the point that you are not pro-life, you are pro-birth. Because once the baby comes out into society, you do not give a single shit.
Well, in this case, if you... Not even pro-birth, because it wasn't a real birth.
Pro-autopsy?
No, I would say pro-incubation, if anything. I just... I have said for years, obviously, that I'm pro-choice. But really being pro-choice is supporting life.
Yeah.
Because you are supporting the mothers who, really didn't want to make a bad decision, and the mothers that lost their child and that needed a medical abortion, or, the ones that really, they wanted it very, very, very bad. And at the end of the day, being pro-choice really is standing up for life. You are standing up for somebody's life. It just might not be the baby's.
Well, there's that side of the coin, and there's also, all of these kids in foster care. There's many, 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 an abundance of children, whether they're babies or teenagers or whatever the case may be, they're there. So why are we forcing people to have babies when there's so many people that can't or won't take care of their own?
Yeah.
And why are we not supporting pew-pew reform? Common sense pew-pew laws? So school pew-pewings stop happening? Or at least become less? Because it's gotten to the point where they're still around, but they're not even being reported on unless it's a huge school in a really well-known town. City, whatever.
Yep. It's sad.
Yeah. So,
this is the timeline we're in.
This is definitely going to be a heavier episode. Sorry, not sorry, but we're being reality-based today. Not Delulu caregiving today.
And I mean, honestly, if you don't want to listen to it, just
scroll on by.
This is it's the reality of being in the medical field. These are all kinds of the things that you have to face.
Yep.
And I really feel for the fellow nurses that had to take care of Adriana Smith. Because I'm sure that was heartbreaking, seeing her in that position once working alongside of her. That must have been horrendous.
And honestly, you don't know what you'd actually do unless you're in the situation, because anybody could be like, oh, I would just quit. I wouldn't allow that to go on. I couldn't be a part of that. But, like, same...
The governor literally stepped in. Like, the governor of their state literally stepped in. I don't know how, but somehow it got reported up through the hospital to the highest degree, and the governor was informed, and then the governor wrote a letter to the doctor who was taking care of her and her family.
Sorry.
What?
I was watching a little kid run.
Oh. And yeah, it's just crazy how, like, this whole thing becomes just escalates like that.
Yeah. It's really ironic that we're talking about this at a park.
Yeah, especially where there's all kinds of families playing.
Yeah.
I mean, still not anything compared to how busy it usually is here,
no.
Which is very trippy, but...
So, there was, like, the little girl in the, like, neon pink shirt, and her little legs were just going. And I was like, oh my god, she's so cute. Okay, so that was the light part of the episode, probably one of very few. But I think we should probably move on, because we've still got a lot to cover. So... Mango Mussolini, Velveeta Voldemort, Tangerine Palpatine. He sent the big splodies into Iran.
Yep, so I don't know what day this will be releasing. I think Thursday, right?
I might just do it tomorrow.
It'll be sometime. But yeah, at the time of us recording this, we have entered war with Iran.
Yeah.
Honestly, by the time this comes out, more might have happened. Don't know.
Can you not park?
Guess we'll find out.
You having problems, my guy? Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, by the time this comes out, we might be in actual war with Iran. And, I saw a video today that said something about, where all of the sleeper agents are located, from Iran, because they're here in the U.S., so they can be called into action at any point in time to do whatever the Iranian government tells them to do. So that's really fun. It's great. I don't remember all of the cities and states, but the two biggest ones were Seattle, Washington, and then a whole lot in California. A lot of big cities in California.
That doesn't surprise me.
I think maybe Maryland also. And then I know for sure Chicago, Illinois, and one other city in Illinois. But those are the only ones that I can remember right, like, offhand. So. Yeah.
It's a great
Thanks,
time.
Bro.
Great time to be alive.
Thanks, bro. Already lived through one war. 2? Was it 2? Or was it just the one?
I mean, the Iraq War went on for 20 years, so.
Yup. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
I almost feel like at the end of this episode, we need to do something silly to get our brains right and to get their brains right.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a tickle. It will not go. I need you to talk, please.
I don't know. It's just so. It's really. This topic is so hard because it's like. There's so much to be said, but it's just beating a dead horse. And you just feel like you're almost better just not saying anything because it's just so depressing and so just like this is what it is now.
But a petty bitch is still gonna be a petty bitch. So how are those egg prices, bro? How are those grocery prices? The gas prices? Are those good for you? I told y'all when we started this series that I was gonna make my popcorn on the fire of the burning, okay? And laugh. And I am. I'm just mad that I have to live through it with you.
I was going to say, we're definitely in the find out phase. That's never been in question.
Yeah.
However, yes, that's the only part that I'm mad about as well. Is like, I like watching this and seeing how this turns out for the Trumpers, but at the same time, I know that it also directly affects me.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks, because I didn't vote for this.
You just said May. It's gonna be May.
May.
Yeah, it's not great.
Like, this would be even better for us if this only affected the people that voted for him. Unfortunately.
Yeah. But we in this together, y'all.
Unfortunately, as long as you live here, it affects you.
So, you know, if most or all of you on the MAGA side could, like, remove your heads from your anus, that would be great.
I mean, there's been a lot more people recently that have come out and said that they regret voting for him.
Mm-hmm. There have been a lot, but there needs to be more. Because it needs to be, like, all of them.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, like, as our numbers get bigger and theirs get smaller, the more we can unite for the common cause. I just need that to happen a little faster because we need to get him out of office. Like, he needs to be impeached, and the Senate actually needs to uphold that instead of him being impeached and then ruled that he can stay in office even though he was impeached. That's so stupid. If you're impeached, you're impeached. Get out.
Right?
So dumb. Like, why is there a two-part thing? Why? I don't get it.
Because the country was set up to be ruled by cis white men.
That do be facts. Can we talk about Jasmine Crockett and AOC, though? Because they are slaying. Like, all of the women that are not on the MAGA side in our government have been slaying. They've been going hard. Oh, also, I don't think the two Democratic leaders in Minnesota had attempted to take lives. I don't think that happened yet the last time we recorded a Trump Trials episode.
No.
So we'll talk about that too. Melissa
Hartman, I think. I'll look it up.
I think you're right, Hartman. And then the other one was Hoffman, right? John
Yes.
Hoffman. Okay, so Melissa and her husband, they were both pew-pewed and unalived by some crazy Republican, and people have been like, oh, he's a Democrat, da-da-da-da-da. No, he was a registered Republican. Thank you. It's been proven. And
Vance
then Belter.
I don't know how to say his name.
Boelter. Belter.
Okay, so he killed Melissa Hortman,
not Hartman, that's right.
and then her husband, Mark. So she was a Democratic lawmaker. Her husband, I don't think he was in politics, he was just her husband.
Yeah.
And then John Hoffman and his wife both survived the shooting. He shot all 4 of them. Melissa and her husband Mark passed away, and John and his wife did get shot, but they both ended up surviving.
Yeah. It's cool that 2 of them survived, but it's really crappy that the other 2 didn't, and it's shitty that all of this even happened to begin with.
Well, and it...
There are always going to be your radicals and whatever, but, like, why? Why?
I mean, not to say that it was fair that, like, she passed away or anything. It wasn't fair that any of it happened. But I think it's really unfair that her poor husband ended up getting shot at, too, when he wasn't even in politics.
Yeah.
Like, that's just some BS. And the John Hoffman's wife, that she got shot at, too. Like, at least when you're in politics, at least when you go into it, you understand that thing, like, that sort of thing could happen to you. It is a possibility. But as the spouse, like, that is just ridiculous that you got put in that situation just by being married to this person.
Well, I mean, it's the same for judges, too. Like, you hear all this stuff about blackmailing judges or, like...
and their families.
Death threats, all the things. So, if you're married to anybody in politics, your life is at risk, too, unfortunately.
So sad. I mean, it never should have happened.
No. Oh, my God. Neon pink. So cute. I can't. Sorry. Again.
I wish I was out there right now, but, like, too hot.
She's just trying so hard.
Too hot.
Yeah. Oh. Whoop. Okay. Sorry, I have to find some sort of joy while recording this. Some sort. I still be looking like a bag of biscuits.
It's okay.
Love that for me.
But, yeah. He was caught, though.
Which is great.
I don't know where. He fled the state of Minnesota. I'm not sure where he ended up being caught. Actually, I think it might have been Wisconsin.
Maybe. Do we think that he is, like, the other half to Luigi? Like, Luigi was the good one and he's the bad one? Do we think that that's what they were trying to start? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. I can't talk about any more depressing things.
Same.
So, I've already gotten my joy because this little girl is freaking adorable. She's adorable. And we're going to try and figure out something to make y'all laugh too because, well, it's needed.
What's crazy is that I'm going to have one of those real soon.
I know. I can't wait to take her here.
And I get to watch a little waddle just like that one.
Yep.
Except that's not going to be for a couple years.
Yep. We ain't taking no newborns to the splash pad.
Especially not in this kind of heat. If this kind of heat continues all summer long, whew.
That's a nope.
In my house is where I stay.
Yep. In the AC.
And hopefully it'll be more comfortable.
What did I say before we started recording that you said you wish my camera would have, like, magically turned on for, like, it has 1,005 times?
Oh, whole bag of biscuits.
Oh, okay. So currently my phone is on my dash. Like, I have this little setup that I got on Amazon, I think. But it's a mount for my phone, but I can move it certain ways. So I was trying so hard to get, like, the little arm to go up higher so I didn't look like a fucking bag of biscuits. But I do. clearly we can see that didn't work. And I said,
like, I'm looking like a whole bag of biscuits again.
Yeah, I said that.
I was like, oh, that was so funny. I was like, I wish your camera would have caught that.
Fairly soon we're gonna release some candid camera because my phone decides to start recording whenever it wants to, I guess.
We got so many good bloopers.
We do. Oh,
and all of them end with, what? Why is it recording? I didn't do anything.
No, my favorite, my top one is the one that I told you about yesterday where we were talking about the genetically altered spiders in Germany. And we both said produce red silk at the same time. And then you sat down and like stuck your tongue out at the camera. And I was like, what? I'm recording? How? No!
Oh, it's so good.
So yeah, keep your eyes open on TikTok. Sorry about that. We'll get back to posting on TikTok again probably after baby comes. Like a while after, because we're gonna have to give Amy some time to recuperate. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do the thing. Oh, there's my pen. I was like, where did I put it? Where did it go? It's right here. So you can find us on Facebook and TikTok at Boss Ravioli Queens. You can also email us, bossravioliqueens@gmail.com. Don't forget to give us a like and a follow and hit the notification bell if you want to get notified every single time we post a new episode. That's it. Bye.
Bye.